Before we jump into today's massive Dodgers update, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because what we're talking about right now is not just another good news day for Los Angeles. This is the kind of momentum that changes seasons, changes legacies, and honestly changes how the rest of Major League Baseball sleeps at night. Shohei Ohtani just keeps winning. Not just on the field, not just in the box score, but in the bigger picture of how this Dodgers organization is being built into something that feels unfair. Every week it feels like there's a new reason to talk about him, a new stat that makes people pause, a new moment that reminds everyone why the Dodgers pushed all their chips to the middle of the table. And while the headlines are dominated by Ohtani doing Ohtani things, there's another layer to this story that's just as important, maybe even more dangerous for the rest of the league. The Dodgers' farm system is stacked, but it's also uneven in a way that might actually make them even more unstoppable. Let's start with Ohtani, because it's impossible not to. The expectations were already absurd when he arrived in Los Angeles. Some people thought the pressure, the spotlight, the constant media attention would eventually weigh him down. Others wondered how he'd fit into a lineup already loaded with stars and veterans. Instead, what we're seeing is the exact opposite. Ohtani looks comfortable. He looks confident. He looks like someone who knows he's in the perfect situation to win not just games, but championships. Every at-bat feels like an event. There's a different energy in the stadium when he steps into the box, and you can see it in opposing pitchers too. They're careful. Sometimes too careful. And when they make a mistake, Ohtani doesn't miss it. He's not just hitting for power, he's controlling at-bats, working counts, and forcing teams to pitch differently to the entire lineup. That alone changes everything for the Dodgers offense. When you have a player like that in the middle of the order, everyone else benefits. Pitchers can't relax. Bullpens get exposed earlier. Managers are forced into tough decisions by the fifth or sixth inning. What's even more impressive is how Ohtani's presence seems to elevate the entire clubhouse. This isn't just about numbers. It's about tone. It's about expectation. When you have a generational talent who shows up every day, prepares the right way, and performs under pressure, it sends a message. It tells the rest of the roster that this season is serious. That the window is open right now. And that message is clearly being received. Now here's where things get really interesting, because while Ohtani is dominating headlines, the Dodgers front office is quietly sitting on something that most teams would kill for: depth. Real depth. Not just one or two nice prospects, but an entire system filled with talent at different stages of development. And yes, it's uneven. There are areas that are stronger than others. But that unevenness might actually be a weapon. The Dodgers farm system is loaded with position players who have high ceilings. Young hitters with advanced approaches, players who understand the strike zone, who can adjust, who don't look overwhelmed by higher levels of competition. That's not an accident. That's philosophy. The Dodgers have been building this way for years, and now we're seeing the payoff. These aren't just lottery tickets. These are real assets. At the same time, the pitching side of the farm system has been more unpredictable. Some arms look dominant one month and shaky the next. Some pitchers have electric stuff but struggle with command. Others are steady but don't project as frontline starters. On the surface, you might look at that and say, that's a weakness. But in reality, it gives the Dodgers flexibility. Think about it. When the trade deadline approaches, teams aren't just looking for one type of prospect. Some want high upside hitters. Some want near MLB-ready arms. Some want a mix. The Dodgers can tailor packages based on exactly what they need. They don't have to empty the farm for one move. They can pick and choose. That's how dynasties stay alive. And this is where Ohtani's winning mentality intersects perfectly with the farm system situation. The Dodgers don't have to rush anyone. They don't have to force prospects into roles they're not ready for. Because right now, the Major League roster is strong enough to compete every single night. Ohtani is a huge part of that. His production buys time. His presence buys patience. There's also a psychological aspect to all of this that doesn't get talked about enough. When opposing teams know the Dodgers not only have superstars at the top, but also waves of talent coming behind them, it changes how they approach games and series. There's no weak year coming. There's no obvious rebuild window. That's intimidating. And let's be real, this is the part that frustrates fans of other teams the most. The Dodgers can win now and still plan for later. They can chase a championship while developing the next core. That's not normal in baseball. That's organizational excellence. Ohtani staying hot only amplifies that feeling. Every time he delivers in a big moment, it reinforces the idea that the Dodgers made the right move. It validates the strategy. It makes ownership more confident. It makes the front office more aggressive. And it makes players around the league pay attention. You can already see it in how games against the Dodgers feel different. Opponents celebrate small wins like taking a series or even just avoiding a sweep. That's the sign of a team that's become the standard. And Ohtani is at the center of that shift. Now let's talk about the uneven part of the farm system, because this is where nuance matters. Not every top prospect is going to be a star. Not every highly ranked system turns into championships. What separates the Dodgers is how they manage expectations and roles. They don't force narratives. If a prospect profiles better as a trade chip, they're okay with that. If someone needs more time, they give it to them. That approach keeps the pipeline healthy. It prevents panic moves. And it allows the Dodgers to react quickly when opportunities arise. A team calls asking about a bat? The Dodgers have options. A team needs pitching depth? The Dodgers can talk. Meanwhile, Ohtani continues to anchor the present. There's also something poetic about it. Ohtani represents the now. The peak. The moment. The farm system represents the future. And the Dodgers are one of the few organizations that can balance both without collapsing under the weight of expectations. This is why people are starting to use words like unstoppable. Not because the Dodgers will go undefeated. Not because nothing can go wrong. Baseball doesn't work that way. But because when things do go wrong, the Dodgers have answers. Injuries happen? Depth steps in. Slumps happen? The lineup is long enough to survive. Trade deadline pressure? The farm system provides leverage. And Ohtani? He's the constant. He's the stabilizer. He's the reminder that even when things get messy, greatness can carry you through stretches that would sink other teams. What's scary for the rest of the league is that this doesn't feel like a team playing above its head. It feels sustainable. It feels intentional. And it feels like the Dodgers are just getting started. So when you hear people asking whether the farm system being stacked but uneven is a problem, the real answer might be the opposite. That unevenness gives the Dodgers options. It gives them choices. And combined with a superstar who keeps winning, keeps delivering, and keeps setting the tone, it creates a machine that's incredibly hard avoiding. The Dodgers aren't just winning games. They're winning timelines. They're winning leverage. And with Shohei Ohtani at the center of it all, this team doesn't just look dangerous, it looks inevitable. And that's exactly why you need to stay locked into this channel, because this story is far from over. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for daily Dodgers updates, and let me know in the comments how unstoppable you really think this team is.